So as you can see, we had done from Article 1 till Article 35, as 1 to 5, not 1 to 4 being as of like the union, union and territories, then 5 to 11 being as the citizenship, then 12 till 35 being your fundamental rights. Now we are going to do the articles from your for your DPSP, uh, your articles for DPSP, as DPSP stands for your directive principle state policies. And like DPSP, like main theme is social, economical, economical welfare. And like the DPSP is comprised from like directive principle of state for policy. If you remember this thing, DPSP, this we have taken from like your Ireland, as if you remember like Ireland from Annie, and Annie took in selfie, and she took a selfie, and that from the selfie she put it for DP, for DPSP. We have taken this deep directive principle of state policies from that island country, and this directive principle of state policies only function only like to prefer to talk about like legislature are the one who makes the law, what the law gonna be. Legislature and the executives of the particular state there talks about. And they don't talk about the judiciary here, because the judging system is in some other articles, ahead of 100 article. But the article from 36 till 51, these only focus on this legislative lawmaking, and lawmaking is for like benefiting of the state, and the executives are the one who are executing this state or executing these duties. So for startup, your article 36, this stands for article 36 stands for basically it's a start of directive principle of state policy, DPSP. And this tells about like means of government, parliament, state government, and legislative, and the local government. So like all the federal part of the government also comes in this thing. Federal being like state, and not state, the center, and the union is like the different part, which is the main part, unitary part. But the federal part is the under the state, which is like the panchayati raj, municipalities, and all that. That also comes in a state, right? So those also come in this DPSP. Some articles are there, we will talk about them ahead. But the first article is article 36, and this talks about directive principle of state policies and all what comes inside of it. Now article 37, article 37 tells you about fundamental of the governments of the country. It shall be the duty of state to apply in lawmaking. Application of principle are not enforceable by any court. So article 37. So like you know how in DPSP, not DPSP but fundamental right, you could go to court and all that, and challenge the, like if your fundamental right is getting violated, so you could go to the court and say that to the court that this person or something has violated my fundamental right, as like he has kidnapped me, so you would issue mandamus on him, right? But in this you can't go and challenge to the court, because like these directive principle of state policies are like they like the principle are not enforceable by court, not enforceable by any court. And article 37 basically says that. And now if I talk about the like article 38, Article 38. This article talks about state to secure a specific power, promotion of welfare and social justice as so like Article 36 was DPSP, Article 37 being not enforceable by any court as for the DPSP, then direct principle of state policies. And the 38, this article talks about the DPSP provides in a state provides in a state social, economical and political justice. SEP basically short form. So that is the Article 38. So yeah, now Article 35 is the dialects of the state being towards the securing of like some dialects are there like adequate means of livelihood should be presented by the state, distribution of material of resources to the common goods like distribution of resources should be there like the like you know how like the farmers distribution is necessary for in to be distributed in the market, that is also thing. Prevention of concentration of wealth, like not a single person getting too much wealth, everybody should like get equal job opportunity and all that. Then equal pay equal work, yeah. Then protection of work and health of children against deplomatization. Then health and development of children. Now that is Article 39. Article 39 is like the directs all of these like 6 7 dialects. I'm not gonna write them, that's too long. But like the Article 39 of A, this A for you could give the there is a hint for this what comes under this. This is free legal aid. Free legal aids comes under this for A for aid. And free legal aid in terms of like legal advice if you don't have like a like a what do you call that, the person who fights for you in the court. If you don't have a legal advisor, then the state would provide it for you. Then Article 40 talks about like as I told you in Article 36, the Panchayati Raj also, panchayats and municipalities also comes under this. So Article 40 is by the panchayats. And this panchayat thing is this this is for like the if I'm not wrong, it was from Rajasthan or something like that. Let me look. Like it was for uh, like this article was for like when you study the whole state government, in that the Article 40 is said to be for introduced for a specific state. And if I could find that here, where is it? GV Malvikar. Yeah, Article 40 DPSP is for Rajasthan. This was the first state who introduced directive principle of state policies in 2 October of 1959. Then Andhra Pradesh was the one. So Article 40 in this DPSP is directive principle of state policy. So this state policy. So this hello my boy. I don't know who are you, brother. So this state policy is for like the state, right? So this the first state who introduced the DPSP was your Rajasthan, and they did this on 2nd of October of 1959. This was the date, and after this, the Andhra Pradesh also just after the year they also did this DPSP. So DPSP in Article 40 is because of this only, and this was introduced in Rajasthan in 2nd October of 1959. Now, if you had to look at Article 41, Article 41 basically talks about the like the state shall provide right to work, education, and public assistance. So like right to work is in this thing, right to work and like public assistant. public assistance. So like basic betterment of the life is basically in the article 41. You could see it like that. Now article 42, so like do for hamare hum do hamare do, like, right? So from that you could imagine for article 42, for the state being giving like female pregnant females like maternity leave. This leave is given to the females who gave a birth to a child, and after the some period they need leave for their well-being and like nurturing their child at the early stage. So this maternity leave becomes very important, and the state provides salaries to women during this time too. So that is in article 42 of our constitution. Then article 43 talks about wages, securing livelihood standards. So like this is also like standard of life. Now article 44, article 40 40 sorry for article 44 is there. Like article 43 is like standard of life, and like article 43 is like on industry and stuff, on more it is on like that, like industrial development is more on that. And 43 of clause a, there are clause in article, if you don't know that. 43 of a is by the working in the participation of worker in management of industries. So like in industries, workers would they would get like benefit on this. That is on article 43 of a. Now 43 of b, so 43 of b you could easily remember if you know, like at part 9 of our constitution is panchayati raj, part 9 of a is municipality, part 9 of b is cooperative society. So for this b is only in one part b which is in our constitution, so you could relate this part b to here. And you could say that 43 of b, if you see b here, then you could write as cooperative society. And yeah, that's the whole thing, cooperative society. For 43 is like industries and stuff. 43 of a is like, and 43 is like on cotton industry too, like white industries and too. And 43 of a is of industries, and 43 of b is cooperative society. Now 40, after all of this working of industries and all that, you would be on ucc, the uniform civil code, ucc. Then 44 of so 45 now talks about this 45 is like in many of like the articles. If I had to give you reminder, it is in our fundamental duty 11th, it is in our it is on fundamental right 21st of a. Now it is in article 45. This is, if you still not get it, then you have to study more, I would have say. Like now I'm giving a permanent example. It was in your 86th constitutional amendment act of 2002. If you still not get it, then it is like 6 till 14 children age should study. This is also implemented in the state. It is also implemented in fundamental duty. It is also implemented in your fundamental right of 21st of a. So yeah, that is pretty important. Now 40, so like if I have to give you a reminder which you have studied till now, is like 36 being the DPSP itself, 37 being the DPSP is not enforceable in the court. Then 38 being the DPSP is socially, economical, and political justice. Then 39 being the directs. Then 39 of A is your free legal aid. Then 40 is your Panchayati Raj, in which the Rajasthan is the first state of the 12th October of 1959. Then right to work as 41. 42 being the maternity leave. 43 being the industry workers and like white cotton industries. And 43 being the industry. 43 of B being the cooperative society. 44 being the Uniform Civil Code, 45th being the 86th Amendment. Then now 46, 40 Article 46 talks about your promotion of education and economical interest in the society. So education and economical interest in the society. This is what they talk about here. Now 47 talks about duty of state to raise the standard of living. So standard of living should be higher, like this, I could say, but I would say this is better. So standard of living should be higher in 47. That's the thing. Then 48 is agriculture. 48 agriculture. Then 49 being environment. So agriculture, environment, 48, 49. Then protection of national importance. That is 50. Which is separation of judiciary from executive. Yeah, that is obvious, I guess. 51 being the international peace security. In this maintenance of honorable relationship between nations, encourage system of international dispute by abbreviation by the resolves not in the court. 51 of A. Now 51 of A is your fundamental duty, as I already have taught you that. Now we are heading towards the part 4. So till now we have done your part 1, that being union, part 2 being the citizenship, then part 3 being your fundamental right. This is from article 1 till 4. This is article 5 till your 11. This is from your article 12 till your 35. Then part 4th is your DPSP, which is being 36 till 51, which we just did. Now we are heading towards part 5th, which starts from and part 4th of A, which is from your 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act of 1976. This is your fundamental duty. We already have done that. There are 11 duties. Now we are doing the union. Now as union being the union which works as executive union, these are those. Now this is starting from your 52nd till your 62nd, you could call that. We will talk about the president. Then 63rd till 70, we will talk about vice president. Then 71 being Supreme Court interfering in the when the president or vice president voting being like stuck in between. That's the whole plan. Now moving on towards the president, which being the from your article 52. So you could remember these as like this: PREEM, Prem, TREQCOIT. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Right? Now, first being PR, that is obviously your president. There shall be a president in India. That's the whole idea here. Let me pick up brighter color. There shall be a president in India, and president, the first citizen of an country. Then executive. Then for E here, this E stands for executive. President is a executive, right? Because he executes his duty. Executive of union shall vast in the president. So union executive power is in president. President is the head of like the country, and like nomination. So like here are some terminology here. President is your nominal head. nominal head, which means like he is not a real head, he is a de jure head. Now prime minister is your de facto head, which is a real head. In terms of real head, what I'm trying to say is this, that the president is the one who is taking all the decisions on like the international matters or like the national matters, but the president is the one who is signing all the document and seeing over, like he's above the prime minister, but the prime minister is doing the duty. That is the whole here. So the president is called the de jure head, and the prime minister is called as de facto head. Now moving on, for E for I said election. Now for E, it is no E for I said executive. For like this is 52nd, which is 52nd. It starts from 53rd is executive power of union, as like which is vast in the president. Now 54th article is your election. So in this it talks about like who are the members in this elections. So like if I had to tell you who are the part of this election processes, who are going to vote in the president election, first of all of these guys, executive guys, are first of all in lower level appointed by us, which we vote. Then those who appointed by us vote in their uh, like the whatever the booth is. So in this election of president, your both the houses, both houses of Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha elected. That's the main word, elected, not nominated, only elected. Only these guys from Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, only the elected member would vote here. And elected member of state legislative assembly. State legislative assembly being there is like one state legislative assembly in a state. So the elected member also here, no nominated member here. Now that is being done. Now there is a special case in which Delhi and your Pondicherry and Pondicherry get to also vote here. Like their members, elected members, also get to vote here, and this is here in the 70th Constitutional Amendment Act of 1992. So 1992 you could remember easily as your 73rd, 74th Constitutional Amendment Act is here, like which is municipalities, Panchayati Raj. Then this 70th is like the little brother of here. Now we talked about president, now executive, now we talked about election. Now this M is here for manner of the election. M for manner of president election. This is what we're going to talk about here. So in this manner of president election, the manner would be like your proportionate representation of single transferable vote. This is the whole voting scheme here. So in this, it is said that the proportionate representation, this basically means the total population in a state upon total members that are from that state, which is are trying to get the seat, already are in the seat. So those into 1 by 1,000. This is the proportionate representation of like of like value of like an MLA from a state. The whole like the state value of the voting scheme, how much their vote gonna be charging from that particular state. Now single transferable vote is for president is something like a bar graph, you could imagine. So this is y-axis, this is x-axis, right? So here are the member A, B, C, D. First of all, these guys who are voting for president have 50 people backing them. That's why they are standing there. Now when A, B, C, D is there, now there is position first, second, third, fourth. Supposedly, if the first guy is going to vote, going to give the vote. Now what happens is this, that the first guy would give this guy, well, like first guy would get the value of like he's fourth in his eyes, this is third, this is first, this is second. So if this guy gets first three times or like two times, then if they get two times, then they both would be getting voting, and somebody would get out because of the only one gonna win, right? Then if like there's a dispute here, then there is article 71. Then if now this guy have like total first voting, so this is the single transferable vote, only the 50 people backing this single guys are voting here and in the process of nomination, and not like only one person they are voting, they're listing everybody by number wise. So who is getting first, second, third would be getting the position as a president. That is the manner of president, PREM. Now we are talking about TR. TR stands for term, that is basically 5 year. All of you know that much. Now eligibility is like, first of all, president should be 35 year plus, that's an eligibility. Rajya Sabha, Lok Sabha is 30 years first plus to be member, but as of like the vice president is also 35 plus. Now no post of profit, no post of profit being like he should not do any other job as like a government officer. Yeah, and should be citizen of India. Now that is eligibility. Now and this eligibility is like in the like in US there is only 2 year you could serve as a president continuously, but in India, how much time, however time you are getting voted, you will be casted as a president. Now Q stand for qualification are similar, 35 year plus, no post of profit, should be citizen of India. Now C is conditions to hold the office of the president, like he should not be a member of Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, no post of profit, and Rashtrapati Bhavan membership would be also giving him, would be given to him. And yeah, this is 59th, this is 58, this is 56, sorry, 57, 56, 55, 54, 53, 52, 51. Now now 60 talks about O for oath and affirmation. Now the president, this is important here. Now the president oath and affirmation is done by CGI, Chief Justice of India. If CGI is not present, then the senior most judge of Supreme Court. Then if that also not there, then some other judge, right? So like oath and affirmation of president is done by CGI, then senior most judge of Supreme Court, then some other judge, and CGI is from like Supreme Court only. He is the highest judge in this Supreme Court. So Supreme Court is the one who is like the father, you could say, of the president in terms here. Now I, if you know, is for impeachment, like how the president can be removed. And this impeachment, if you have studied properly, then USA, we have taken this impeachment process from there. Now this impeachment is be gonna done by like, impeachment starts from like the Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha. Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha, one of these guys should have given 1/4 of their voting. So like the Lok Sabha being your I think how many members are in Lok Sabha? 250. Sorry, Rajya Sabha is 250 and Lok Sabha is in 500, something like that. So like you would get like the ratio and all that. So impeachment of president is done by that, and like the resolution has to be passed with a majority of 2/3 of the member of the house. So first of all, the first 1/4 is for like to start the process. after it starts from Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha, it goes to other house or collectively, and they all have to vote in two-third majority of this decision. Now, uh, T stands for like the time for holding election for the president after his time is done, and this is like done on like if the president dies, or then the new registration, or president get impeached, as for Article 61. Then null void of voting also is there. Vacancy filling should be done under 6 months, and vice president would become president at this time. And if I have to tell you, president also gives his resignation to vice president, and vice president gives to the president. And the vice president is also chairman of the Rajya Sabha. So like this vice president and the deputy chairman gives to the vice president, and vice president gives his resignation to president. So that is the whole thing for president. Now we will talk about 61, then 62. Now we will talk about the vice president, which starts from 63, 64. Now I'm gonna just write by my own. 63. 63 is like there shall be a vice president in India. 64 talks about the president being chairman of Rajya Sabha. Chairman of Rajya Sabha, that is your vice president. This post is also called as ex office chairman. This is vice president. And council of state, which is Lok Sabha, and shall not hold any other office. That is the whole thing. Now, upper house, council of state, Rajya Sabha, and the house of the senior, lower house, Lok Sabha, lower house. Okay. Now 63 and 64 is that. Then 65, this is a special edition here. 65, it talks about like supposedly this is your president, this is your president, right? Now the president, now this is the vice president, right? Now if president goes in some like trip to some nation, and he goes for like a long time. So the thing is, in Article 65 is written this, that if president goes for a trip, or like get like very sickened, or like is not really able to perform his duty, at the time being the vice president takes its post. So that is written in the Article 65. This is different from the president, which is his arsenal is from 52nd to 62nd. Here the 63rd from like 65th just says that this process is done in this article. Then 66 talks about the election process. Now if you remember, as like in president, I was talking about the only the elected member can voting can be done only by the elected member. But here elected plus nominated is like you are getting nominated for a position. Those guys would also vote in this, and this becomes your Lok Sabha plus Rajya Sabha, elected nominated. Then the 35 plus year he should have, and the state legislative assembly, they also can vote in this thing. Elected member from both the houses, Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, and election 6 months of the president. Now, okay, and qualified for the member of Council of State. Yeah. So that is the whole Article 66. Now, yeah, and there is also like proportional representation of single transferable vote. I already told you in president. What is this? Then qualified by the qualification of the election of the Council of State. So Council of State, they are basically talking about the Where did I wrote it? This ex office chairman, that is Council of State, being a chairman of the council, which is done by vice president. Now, Article 67 talks about vice president terms in terms of like term, how much he does duty, 5 year, and no impeachment for vice president. There is removal, and this is done by like all also like two-third of the voting, and the same process as the president. Now 68 article talks about re-election. So first we talked about term, now re-election of the president, how it would be done if like he dies, if he's terminally ill, if he has gone somewhere and he's not coming back, he's like not able to do his performance duty, or his term is over. That is all done under article 68. It is written here. And article 69 talks about oath and affirmation. Oath and affirmation. If you remember, like the president oath and affirmation was done by CGI, Chief Justice of India, or if he's not there, then the senior most judge of the Supreme Court. But in the oath and affirmation of the vice president, president or someone appointed by the president. So like president is done by the whole Supreme Court arsenal. The Chief Justice of India is from Supreme Court only. Now in the vice president time, this is done by a mainly president, or president is not there, then some guy would be sent by the president, and this is like a very well educated or like a minister or something, high level minister. He will do that. Now 69, then 70. Now article 70, which is his last article of president, which talks about if it is last article of vice president, that means it will talk about discharge. So article 70 talks about discharge of like vice president, and this parliament may make such provisions, and vice president may take the seat, like discharge of president function in other contingency. Akela Parishat. Okay. That is the whole arsenal of like vice president from 63 till 70. 63 being the vice president itself, then 63 being the vice president, then the chairman of the Rajya Sabha, 64th, and ex office chairman, then 65 giving the post to the president, then 66 elected nominated member of state Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha and state legislative assembly, and proportional representation of single transferable vote. Not term for 5 year, and basically 35 year plus age. And the 68 talks about the re-election, which is re-election is like done when he's like terminally ill or his term is over. And 69 talks about oath and affirmation, which is done by president. Then 70 talks about his discharge, which is his last article. Now the article 71 talks about election of president or vice president. So in election of election of president and vice president, if like there's some problem there, then the final decision would be made by Supreme Court, and any provision subject to the president vice president will be taken by the parliament. So yeah. Then article 72, this talks about empower to president to grant pardon. Pardon power is written in the article 72 of the president. President is the only one who can give the power as pardon power, and this pardon power is basically on the persons who are behind the bars, or he could say jail or something like that. And the pardon power is first of all the pardon itself. This is like Like if he's like going to be hanged, then he would be like on like the life imprisonment. So like completely you are saying no to do that punishment, that is pardon. Then commutation. Commutation talks about the commutation talks about come come. So like saja kam karna, saja kam karna, that is the commutation. Then remission is also like decreasing the gravity of the permission, sorry, punishment, decreasing the gravity of the punishment, remission. Then respite is like respite is only given to people who are in of like health condition. If there is a severe health condition, then the person would be given a respite pardon from the president itself. Then reprieve is like temporary hold. So these are the all pardon power which is in article 72 of the president. Now the now we starts from article 73. Article 73 talks about extent of union, like power, executive power. Parliament can give power to center of state of executive. So like article 73 talks about like the parliament can give power to state, and in state I'm saying the executive. That is the article 73. Now article 74, if I were you, I would mark this important. Article 74 is like if this talks about article 74 talks about the like if there is like council of minister plus prime minister. Council of minister is the Rajya Sabha. Council of minister plus the prime minister, if they are giving advice to the president under article 74, then the president have to he have to like listen to this. And this cannot be this advice is compulsory, or if you are looking for terminology, it is called binding. This article 73 power of council of minister and the prime minister to give advice to the president is binding on the president to hear what they are saying and do action on them. And this is on article 74 of our constitution. Now article 75, article 75 is like now the prime minister and council of minister are we are already talking about them. So now we extend this topic. Now we are talking about like the president appoints the prime minister, right, in the council of minister, not like as general. And then the uh, prime minister plus president appoints the whole council of minister, which is the Rajya Sabha. Now, the if like the Council of Minister entirely, like the whole Council of Minister, if they had to appoint to someone, they do to the Lok Sabha, which is the House of People, because House of People is important. As of like these are the members who are elected by the as of like the Rajya Sabha is like more prominent, like you have much duty, like defense minister, foreign minister, finance minister, and these are like all the ministers who have important portfolio. Whereas the Lok Sabha, which is like the this is like the people who are just elected and they are newly freshen in the whole of like this ministry stuff. So they like the whole council of minister, which is the Rajya Sabha, would appoint or like they would like respond to the Lok Sabha Now this was entire council of minister. Now one council of minister member, so one Rajya Sabha member would appoint to your president itself. That is the thing here in the article 75. Now they also talk about uh, like the strength of council of minister exceeding 15% of the Lok Sabha. Council of minister total 15% in Delhi as a 10%. So to make a formal meeting, they are talking about that the formal meeting would be like, you know how in Lok Sabha there are 545 member, right? So out of this 545 member, only the if there are only 15% member there, then they can like make an official decision. If only this percent of the members are present in the Lok Sabha, and in Delhi it is like 10%, because you know how in president like election, which is in article 52nd, 53rd, 54th, 55th, 55th article, not 55th, it is 53rd, I think so. Yeah, 54th article, which talks about the president election, in which like Delhi and Damandiu is also there, which is in 70th Constitutional Amendment Act of 1992. So in this amendment act, it is said that Delhi is like 10% if the population of their state legislative assembly is there, then they can form an official decision. Now, and this is written in the under 91st Constitution Amendment Act of 2003. So, in order to learn the 91st Constitution Amendment Act of 2003, you could imagine it like 1992. You always say that like 73rd and all that. Now 1992. So this 2 is going here, which is 2003. Now a minister of 6 months like member, if like he's like six the minister is a member for more than 6 months, then then a minister who is 6 months से ज़्यादा member नहीं है लोकसभा राज्यसभा से, वो minister नहीं होगा. That is the whole thing. Then the parliament can decide the salaries and allowance, but if not done by the parliament, they follow the schedule second. So if you follow the schedule second, which is short trick is TE, tiers. So E is your emoluments, and emoluments is given to your president, vice president. So then speaker, deputy speaker, and all that. So if parliament decide the salary, if not done by parliament, then it is done by this article. Now if we have to talk ahead, which is like we have done 75th, which was a whole story. Now 76th article, this article talks about your attorney general. General. If you ever got confused by people talking about attorney general, then I will like diffuse your confusion. First of all, our current attorney general is R Venkateswaran, R Venkat Ramani, R Venkataramani. Then our first attorney general was MC Setalwood. So Setal Ward, sorry, it's not Wood, Ward. So R Ramani is the president and present, and MC Setalwood is like the your current, not like the your oldest one. Now, Attorney General being the Article 76, in this it talks about this article talks about Attorney General, and as Attorney General is the highest highest law officer of country. Yeah, nobody is higher than him in terms of law as of like this post. Then he is the lawyer of central government. Then the president appoints him. President also appoints your prime minister. That's also a thing. Now, the main question they could ask here, which is attorney general. Attorney general is not a full time job or slash post. Attorney general can work for any post of profit as his part-time job. That is a specific thing as often being as a law officer as like on under the attorney general. This is the only attorney general get this benefit. Now there is solicitor general, which is solitary solicitor general. This guy is not a constitutional body. It is the second law officer, and it's provide aid madad to attorney general. Now this was article 76 for attorney general. Now advocate general, which is the highest law officer of a state, is in article 165. You could imagine a 6 subtracting 1 and putting that ahead, 165, which is for advocate general. Advocate general is highest. Advocate general is the highest law officer of the state, and the advocate general is appointed. Remember, attorney general was appointed by the president. This guy is appointed by the governor of the state. Governor is also like a president of the state, not state, but in terms of like their same power and ideologies there of a governor. So it is appointed by a governor, and he is the highest law officer of the state. So appointed by the governor is the main question in attorney general, advocate general, and 165 article being the advocate general article. Now 77 is the conduct of business. Now I remember this as you know how 7 article 77, 7 is a lucky number for everybody. Luck, if you do well, would be for business. So article 77 talks about the business conduct of government business, and it would be done by under the name of president. If we are purchasing some defense budget, like some, not defense budget, but like defense missiles and all, that would be business only. And like some trade, like international trade is going on, like vaccine which was happening in 2020, around that not 20, like 21 22, when the vaccine was originally developed at that time. So yeah, this business is done under the name of president, and it is in lucky number article 77. Now after luck, there comes the 78, which is the prime minister duty. Prime minister duty is prime minister is prime minister plus council of minister. Have you seen like Modi sitting in the Lok Sabha, right? He sits in the Lok Sabha with the council of minister. While he's sitting there, he listens everything. Then he is not an actual member of there, but he just listens everything and maybe gives his opinion, all that, and he reports to your president after that. That is the whole duty. And this is also called as leap pinch or something like that. Leap pinch decision is like chugli type thing, you could imagine that. Now that is your article 78. And the prime minister is like prime minister have like its close companion, which are like cabinet ministers. Cabinet ministers are like the defense minister, finance minister, home ministers. And the shadow cabinet is like the same but opposition party. Shadow, like there is a this is a cabinet, all the ministers is here, cabinet ministers. Now shadow cabinet is like the opposition party, you could imagine it like that. Now kitchen cabinet is the informal group head of the government. Like it is like the main, these guys also called as kitchen, these called as shadow, but these are the cabinet minister, like the defense minister, finance minister. Now the shadow cabinet is like the opposition party, shadow is the opposition, you could imagine as that. And they are pretty important, because like they ask the current government what they are doing, like why not, why is not like the supposedly the current affairs is like on the LPG is not being provided, so why is the, when it would be the LPG, is this safe? So that is all done by the opposition, and opposition is a pretty important part, because you don't want to get monopolized by one party only in a nation. That would be pretty bad. Now that is for the shadow cabinet. Now the article uh, article 79. Article 79 talks about basically a pyramid I am drawing here, which is president, uh, you could say Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha. So this pyramid is called your constitution. So Article 79 says that constitution is Rajya Sabha, Lok Sabha plus president. This whole thing is called as constitution. Now, article, that is the whole article in summary. That would be the whole thing they would ask you. Now, Article 80 is on the Council of State, which being your the Rajya Sabha, and there are like 50 members here, and they're being like like how Joshua, who is that? Like there are 250 members here. Now, like out of this 250 member, how from the Irish there are like 12 member which are nominated. So like the non-nominated members of the Rajya Sabha, nominated in the sense of like these are nominated from the president from the field of science, social science, art, and literature. And the other 238 members are like elected and like goes through the whole process. And that is the whole thing here. And it is taken from Irish, and 238, that's the whole thing in the 88th, which is the Council of Minister, Council of State, sorry. Now after Council of State, the Rajya Sabha comes your Lok Sabha, which is in article 81. In Article 81, this talks about the Lok Sabha as being the lower house. And in this, there are your a total number of 550 members. There is the capacity, and in current there are 543. And there is an important article or something you could call here, like the how like the there were like community nominated member earlier here, which were like which were two nominated member which was selected from also from like the Lok Sabha. But this process was removed under your article, sorry, constitutional 104 constitutional amendment act of 2019. This was removed under this constitution amendment act. This was the Anglo Indian community These guys got removed as like two members was guest goes to remove like nominated in like India from this community. And yeah, and then your is like Article 82, which we talk later on.